All right, so welcome back. This next video in our series of creating our little blocky character, kind of a pixel-based character. Many of you recognize where this is from. Makes a really good learning opportunity for how to do the basics in Maya. In this video, we are going to start modeling our character, and it's a real basic model. We're not going to do anything fancy for this video. We're just going to show you a few tools that can work with using a polygon cube and then moving some vertices and such around, faces around to make our little character here. So what I want to do first is, if you do not see your work, go to File, Open Scene, and then look for blocky 1. You may have to browse through here. Now, if you want to make things easier in the future, you just got to get used to going to the moment you open up Maya, go to File, Set Project. So last time we did the project window. This time we're doing Set Project. And so when you do that, if you go File, Set Project, you browse for where your blocky character folder is, or whatever project you're working on at the time, and hit Set. That way, when you do File, Open Scene, it's going to default to the Scenes folder of blocky character. So then I can click on it, hit Open. Then I'm going to go ahead and do a File, Save Scene As, and I'm going to call this blocky 2 and hit Save. This is just good for these videos so that if anything happens during one of the videos, you can always fall back on the previous video's work and start over fresh with that one video, not the whole thing. And it's just something I started doing when I was in school after I had a project crash. The file got corrupted and I did not have a backup. I kept saving over the old one each time and didn't have a spare. So just learning from a past mistake. So then I want to go up here to General, and I want to hit Reset Current Workspace. Again, get our workspace the exact same as everyone's. So it went back to single view perspective. I'm going to go ahead and hover over, press space bar to get to all of my views. And then last time we got our references set up, and we set our shading for the front view to X-ray and shading for the side view to X-ray. That is going to allow us now to go ahead and up here, we want to change this to modeling. Doesn't do much, it just changes these tools. If you change these little drop downs, the list of menu options changes up here. So we want modeling. These all stay the same. And the one we're going to work with is poly modeling here. And I'm going to go to this cube and I'm going to click on it. And it puts it at the center of our grid. And what I'm going to do, grab my move tool. With the front view, I'm going to pull it up. Now, if you try to work in perspective view, you got to make sure to grab, if you're trying to go a specific direction, you got to make sure you grab a specific arrow. Otherwise, if you grab in the middle, you could move it wherever and you will not know exactly how far back you may have moved it and so forth. So I usually, like I said, try to do all my work in these views, using that one to select faces and vertices that I can't easily access. All right, now I'm going to zoom in and I'm going to press space bar, press Alt and middle mouse button to move it down some. And we're going to work on his face. So I'm going to grab my scale tool, scale it up to the size here, get it as close as you can, doesn't it? I mean, if we were working in the industry, we'd want it as close to the model sheet as possible. And so, but again, we're practicing, we're trying to learn. All right, so I get that one pretty good. Now I want to go to my side view, and he's pretty well lined up, but if you had to, you could move it to get it into better position. And so that's pretty simple, just making his head. So over here in my outliner, again, if you don't see it, go to Window, Outliner. I'm going to name this one Head. All right. Now, easy way to make my next shape. Well, actually, let's go ahead because that one was so big compared to everything else. We're going to go ahead and create a new one. So I'm going to hit the Q button again, bring it up in the side view. And then in the front view, I'm going to go ahead and scale up. I'm going to move it over to what would be our character's left arm area. So I'm going to go ahead and drag it up here, line it up with his shoulder. And now the first thing I'm going to show you of using your perspective view and working with some of the settings you can do. So I'm going to go to perspective view and I'm going to zoom in, pan, and I'm going to left mouse click or left mouse hold and hold Alt, and I'm going to rotate. If I right click on an object, I have different options, and we're going to mess with face, vertex, not edge in this video, and object mode. So if I go to face mode, it allows me to choose these faces. If I go to vertex mode, I can choose every individual vertex. If I go to object, it'll select the whole thing. If I go to edge, it'll select specific edges. For this piece, we're going to go to face mode, select this bottom face, and I know it's the correct one I want because my little box over here shows me that I'm facing front and I'm on my right side, our little guy's left side. I'm going to go press space bar, go back to front view, and I'm going to drag down now because I have that face selected and my move tool selected. I can move that face down and it stretches all of the faces that are connected to it. So now we've got his arm. So now I'm going to go to object mode, and what I'm going to do now, actually, let's do this for you. This will make knowing where things are when we texture later a little easier. I'm going to go ahead and do edit mesh, or actually, sorry, mesh tools, insert edge loop. What this does is it allows you to click on a edge. In this case, I'm going to click on this left edge. And if you left mouse click and hold, it allows you to drag it where you want. I'm going to drag it where I have my character's shoulder at. This is mainly a reference for when we're trying to texture. We know where his sleeve needs to start. Then I'm going to go ahead and click over here because you don't want to have edge loop on and accidentally be clicking everywhere because it's going to start putting edges everywhere. But by doing that, now I kind of know where his sleeve is on his arm for when I try to paint him later. So now I'm going to go to object mode. I'm going to go into my outliner and I'm going to call this L_arm for left arm. Then with it selected, I'm going to hit Control D. And I'm going to drag that duplicated one over to where the right arm would be. Now there's other ways to do this, but again, we're learning the basics, so this is a perfect way to do this, especially with this shape or this character. I'm going to double click here and I'm going to change it to right_arm. And now I've got his two arms. Now the next thing, we're going to do his leg. So what I'm going to do, create a new cube, drag it up into place. And now with this, I am going to actually make him his legs a little longer. So I'm not going to go quite to his waist area. I'm going to go just above it because I want them to kind of tuck inside of his stomach when they're bending. So I'm going to put it just above his waist. Go into side view. It's lined up pretty well. And so now I'm going to go to my perspective view, and instead of doing faces this time, we're going to right click and go to vertex mode on it, and we'll select these vertices or vertices by holding shift. So just grab your selection tool, click the first one, hold shift, select the next three. Then I'll go to front view, and I can grab my move tool, pull down. And I did basically the same thing as I would have with the face. So you can move vertices like that as well. Gonna go to object mode again. Going to go to mesh tools, insert edge loop. Click and hold, and I'm gonna put a spot where his shoe would be, as well as where his waist would be. And this will just help for lining up purposes later. Then I'm going to click on a tool to get out of there, out of the edge loop tool. Right click, go to object mode. And I'm going to name it L_leg. Then I'm going to, with it selected, hit Control D, grab my move tool. I'm going to move it into place. Leave a little space between it and your other leg, just so he has a little room there. We'll be able to tweak it a little bit later as well. And rename this one R_leg. All right. Now, our last piece, we are going to do his body. So for his body, we are going to go ahead and create a new cube. Zoom out a little bit, bring it up on one of the views. In the front view, I'm going to scale it widthwise. And then I'll scale it upright. This time I'm trying to use my reference as kind of a reference. So I'll use my move tool to put it into place. And if I need to, I could select a face, pull it down, or just keep grabbing my scale tool, kind of scaling it up the way I need it. And just put it into place where you like it. That might be a little too long, so I'm going to shrink it a hair. All right. So now we should have our little character. All right. So now that we've got that, we are going to go ahead and make sure this one is titled body. We've now got our little geometric shape. It'll look a lot better once we start texturing and such, but at least he's there. And you've kind of messed with the basics. Now, this is not full-fledged modeling, and I'm actually going to move this guy up some because I can tell that his shoulders aren't lining up perfectly. Yeah, I need to bring it up a hair. That's a little better. So, now that we've got that, we've got everything labeled, let's go ahead and do a File, Save Scene As again, override blocky 2, and hit yes. All right, so that's everything for this episode. I'll see you in the next one.